is squeegee out the window. You're going to squeegee across the top, and then you're going to go along the sides, pushing the film down. This will cause the film to kind of kink a little bit and give you the fingers to shrink so that when you install the film on the inside, you do not have to heat on the inside. Not saying you're not going to have to, because you may have a few fingers that pop up, but it'll avoid you having to shrink the fingers completely like this on the inside, especially if you're tucking the film behind a gasket. It'll be very hard to shrink the fingers with the film stuck behind a gasket, sucking up a lot of dirt. So this will avoid a lot of dirt being sucked up into the film as well. Alright, now the basic tools you're going to need, obviously the heat gun, any one that you prefer. I use the Wagner, as always you see in my videos. It has two settings, low and high. And I'm going to use a gold Bondo card. This is it's pretty soft, but it's hard at the same time. And I use this for all exterior shrinking, never on the inside because it will scratch the film. This is the clear layer, so it will not affect the installation. Alright, so we're going to start by shrinking the top of the largest finger. And as you can see, it starts to get squiggly. Now as it starts to get squiggly, as I say, you can push down on it and it'll stay exactly where it is. Now you don't want to go past this, you will crease the film. So now when it splits off like that U right there, you want to heat back and forth, and you want to heat those points equally as you push them out. As you can see, when we get to the bottom here, you'll have very small fingers here. Now you want to be careful when you're shrinking these fingers. You don't want to keep heat consistently on this gasket, especially on a Jetta or a Kia Optima. These gaskets, these rubber gaskets on the exterior, are very unfortunately prone to getting burnt by the heat. The heat gun will make this turn glossy, which the customer will notice, and you will get a complaint and possibly have to replace this piece, which it's not very cheap. So once you get close to here, you don't have to completely shrink the finger. You can move on to other fingers and allow that to cool down a little bit while you're shrinking the other fingers. Just a little tip here, as you are shrinking the film, you can see how the film, when I shifted the window, when I shifted the tint, there's a bunch up right here. You do not want to heat this. It's off of the glass, and if you heat it, it will scrunch up, and it'll be very annoying when you install the film, because it will be popped off of the window right here, and you'll have to do a lot of heating and work with the pink card to get that to lay down. So now once we have all the fingers basically shrunk, and you didn't shrink them completely, you can go over them now and make sure all the film is flat on the glass. Now, as you can see, as I'm pushing it, I'm pulling the heat gun away so that there isn't direct heat on it for too long. Another tip when shrinking fingers, hold the heat gun facing down, so you're pointing into the fingers. Instead of facing up, you have more chance of burning this gasket when you're going like this, and you're also not going to get the heat all the way down to the bottom of the finger. The proper way to lay this film out, which I didn't go over in the beginning, is to, when you cut the back, shift it back a little bit, mount the film down. When you mount the film down, make sure you have a little hairline gap on the bottom of the film, which allows you to shrink and for the water to dissipate through the bottom as you're shrinking the fingers. If you don't do that, it's just going to bunch up. You're going to suck up a